short stories which are defining complexities of urban life. And in the afternoon, I was part of a panel here on economics. So there was a discussion on like how things happen, why India is so economically, what are the complexities, and then at the end of it, it comes to corruption, human values, morals, and things like that. And then also there was a debate on like jobs, so employment. So if people get job, then economically they are like self-sufficient, and then problems will be solved. Now, my perspective is when people become economically self-sufficient, they are well off, they have almost, as you call, everything in life. What happens then? Perspective of that kind of life when you have everything. So called like in India, typically everybody expects their kids to become doctor or engineer. So if you say engineer, then you have to go to IIT. What happens when you go to IIT? What happens after that when you go to get a job? You go to Bangalore, you go to US, you work in corporate sectors. How is the life? So this is a description of that kind of life. And I'm not reading a continuous section. I'm just reading bits and pieces of a few stories, of few paragraphs that I like. So this is part of my first story that's called Drawing Parallels, and this is the first chapter of that story called It Clicked. I no longer have a boyish face, but you still look sexy and irresistible, said Mark. This sentence makes Alia smile since she met Mark in a bookshop last evening. It was a busy working day for her. After finishing 3 business meetings, she took a break for coffee in her cabin. She was alone and again found herself smiling again with thoughts of Mark. She wondered if she was falling in love again. She realized love is the most beautiful force of life. No wonder poems are written on it. Alia never knew meeting Mark, even briefly after years, could infuse life into her. The feeling of being appreciated made her feel beautiful again. This was a different feeling in her routine life, as if a light at the end of tunnel flashed before her eyes. She was 21 again. Time always freezes for her in presence of Mark. And another section, which so Alia is a working woman and she has a very settled life, as you would say, everything in life. And then this story defines the kind of what typically you say grass is always greener on the other side. So if you say, okay, when you have everything, then what you miss emotion, intimacy, you miss some of those kind of feelings. So this is a story about that. And this section I like very much, this particular paragraph. However, in the race of life, this feeling was lost somewhere. Shekhar would claim. Shekhar is Alia's husband. Shekhar would claim, of course I am passionate about you. The newlywed Alia would have argued, what makes you say so? You asked me to feel things you never show. As I wrote this line, the line of Backstreet Boys was singing inside my brain. How can you expect me to feel things that you never show? So, but Alia was not a teenager anymore, and Show Me the Meaning of Being Lonely was just a song by Backstreet Boys. Only way to hum. Another section which again I like very much. This is about so in Alia's life, I mean, she has certain difficulties and she also goes through some emotional trauma, depression, and then she is trying to recover from that. And this section defines what she is feeling when she is going through that particular emotion. So this section is called Phoenix. Phoenix, what a bird. Alia loves the concept of rebirth, as it helps to live. When one loses everything, shakes hands with death, and the soul still remains alive and finds a new host. With a new name, it starts a journey of learning a new life. Like a naive baby, everything is new and exciting. Curiosity keeps the brain alive, and the desire to exist gives it strength and enthusiasm. Experiential learning is the best, and who knows it better than the one having experienced multiple such rebirths and is ready to move forward. Alia also decided to move forward. So this is a few paragraphs that I like from my first story called Drawing Parallels. And so what happens in Alia's life, how she is moving ahead in life, and so you need to get into detail of story. And now I want to read a few paragraphs from my second story, which again I like very much. And this section is called